Okie dokie.
We're back. A Dinosaur Tale. Wait, that's not the movie, is it?
What?
We're back. A Dinosaur Tale. Is that not the movie?
A dinosaur.
Oh, it's a dinosaur's story.
Story, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we're back. Here's Ethan.
Here's Tuesday.
And we are the Endorphins. If you saw anything on YouTube this morning, you saw that we had a lot of problems staying live for the World Cup final.
Technical issues galore.
Every technical issue you could possibly think of. I wasn't able to post on Instagram for the entire second half.
The internet went down.
We had to reset the entire, we had to reset the router. We couldn't go back live for the second half. And we run upstairs to Ethan goes upstairs to fix that part, and France start dumping goals in, and it was just great, awesome. We're just gonna have to miss the whole thing. So a lot of technical difficulties. Why did I expect the first day to run so smooth and perfectly? I have no idea, but I sure gave it a try.
So France won
France
the World
are
Cup.
The legitimate world champions.
4-2 against Croatia.
It was beautiful. It was a strange first half. I'm still not sure how I feel about the Mandzukic own goal. That just set the whole stage. I was just this whole game is about to be weird. Mandzukic scoring an own goal was so out of nowhere. That's so cruel to him. After everything that he's done for Croatia this tournament, it's really cruel for him. But it happened that way. And then you had the set piece equalizer. And then you had Perisic come up with their own set piece, and it was 2-1, and I'm like, hooray, here we go. Or it was 1-1, hooray, here we go. I still don't agree with that handball. I will not agree with that handball call.
There was a handball called, and it went to video assisted replay for the first time in World Cup history.
First time in World Cup history, we've had a penalty awarded in the World Cup final over a handball. That's not even a handball. Golly, but you know what? They made the decision. Croatia did wind up scoring another goal. There's just so much that happened, and Paul Pogba and Kylian Mbappe to both get on the score sheet is really big. It's a World Cup final, and these are really your two they're not. I guess if you've got Griezmann, you can't really call them your two definitely most dynamic players, but Paul Pogba and Mbappe are definitely two of the biggest stars of world football, and they're both on your team.
And Mbappe was apparently the first teenager to score in a World Cup final since Pele!
The only two people to score in a World Cup are under the age of 20. Pele, Kylian Mbappe.
1958.
I call that some really nice company. Oh, by the way, the last time a person scored in the World Cup that young, you know what Pele followed that up with?
What?
They won the World Cup again. So, I don't know what the odds are on France winning the World Cup again, but I know they've got to be decent, and anybody who puts money down on that today is going to make bank if that happens in 4 years. Granted, I tried to say Germany was going to win the World Cup again, and we all saw how well that worked out, so...
Well, where's the next World Cup going to be?
Qatar.
Qatar.
Oh, very interesting things about the World Cup in Qatar. It's going to be held during the month of December because their summer season in their summer is so hot that it would literally be field conditions anytime throughout the day. The possibility could be having field conditions. We're not talking about turf heat or anything like that, anything extra. We're talking about the actual sun just bearing down on you 110 degrees.
Yep. And that was what people were complaining about when they got picked was
that was the first thing. That was the first thing was A, this is never going to happen in that kind of weather. B, this is a country that's been having a lot of different problems with the UN and human rights and those kinds of deals. And people are we're really going to hand this to
Qatar.
We're going to say that we as a world are okay with something happening like this when we can't even sort out our own human rights. At all? I know that I live in a place that's got issues, but
and haven't they never fielded a team for the World Cup before?
I don't think Qatar has ever actually competed in the World Cup. Their national team is not great as far as.
But now they get an automatic placement because they're hosting.
You do.
So same with the U.S. after them.
Yeah, we have the chance to actually get better by that point, but I wouldn't bet on
I mean, we've been in the World Cup before, though, so it's like, well, we were good, and then we started sucking more.
Actually, you want to know how bad Qatar is?
How?
They've never competed in the World Cup.
Wow.
Ever. And I know we were talking about, like, lowest ranked teams at the World Cup, so Russia overperformed, and they were, I think, ranked 68th, 69th, somewhere in there. For context, this is a team that beat Spain ranked that low. The only team ranked slightly above them was Saudi Arabia, who limped out of the group stage without so much as a glimmer. And, Qatar is ranked 98th.
Wow.
The 98th ranked team in the world, which, granted, that means there's a lot of countries doing worse. But 98th, never played in the World Cup, and they are hosting the World Cup.
That's amazing.
And
then they didn't even have the stadiums built.
No, they are having to build all of these stadiums.
So it's like, how are you going to win the World Cup bid if you haven't been in a World Cup ever before and you don't even have the stadiums to host the World Cup?
Because you've got to be...
Money! Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we're not wrong. It's a lot. I mean, just do some very basic research and type FIFA corruption into just type FIFA corruption into your Google and you'll see exactly
30 million results.
30 million results. In the first, 10th millionth of a second, 10 million results. Like, you'll get a lot going on. You'll read a lot about Sepp Blatter. You'll read a lot about CONCACAF. You read about a lot of the things going on in a lot of different African countries, honestly. I think Ghana is the country that I'm thinking of who had to dissolve their football association.
I thought it was Cote d'Ivoire.
No, I think
Oh, Ghana? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Ghana from 1957 to folded 2018. Like, Ghana had to fold their football association because of corruption in football in their country. Like, this is nothing new. And Sepp Blatter and the officers of FIFA took it on a world stage. And that's why a lot of people feel a certain way about Russia having just held the World Cup. It's why almost every football fan in the world feels a certain way about the next World Cup going to Qatar, because the bigger issue is this is in the middle of the club season. They're not going to be able to hold any of the European club competitions because most of those starters and a lot of those players who sit on those benches, the top 5 leagues, a lot of those players are going to have to go and perform for their national teams. So you're going to have to put all of those club seasons on hold at a very crucial stage right before the winter break. And then you have to sit there and let all these guys play these games in the heat. You have to figure out how to contain these conditions. It's hot. It's the desert. I want to know what the average temperature is in Qatar.
Probably like 95.
Qatar in December.
Oh,
high temperature
75.
75,
Okay. So
low temperature 63.
Not as bad as I thought it was.
But let's go with typing that in and saying July. God, they just 41 degrees Celsius. Can we just talk about 41 degrees? That's definitely over 100 degrees. I just want to let everybody know.
105.
That's 105. Because, like, if I hear about 35 Celsius, that's when people are like, heat wave. The credit to America for creating the imperial system, because nobody besides us cares about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Seriously. Like, people always want to ask me, why is the United States so bad at math and science? You realize we have to learn how to count again, and then we learn how to do their math. To study chemistry, to study physics, because we measure things completely differently. For no other reason than we need to test score people.
And to get good
test
it,
scores.
There's really no reason why we shouldn't be on the metric system.
There's no logical reason for us being.
It's so much easier because it's just in increments of 10.
Literally.
Anyway,
and we decided we could count better than people who have been.
We have inches and feet and yards and miles,
and literally everybody else is meters, kilograms.
Kilometers,
Celsius, like scientists used Celsius and Kelvin way before they used Fahrenheit. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we even doing? Oh, that's right. We're supposed to be talking about the
Yeah.
World Cup.
Anyway.
Best player of the World Cup. I'm going on record, and I don't care how anybody feels about this.
Pele. No, just kidding.
Actually, I would love to see Pele actually play football. I wish I could go back in time and just watch that man. Luka Modric. I'm saying it here and I'm saying it now. Luka Modric deserves to win the Ballon d'Or. That man has won the Champions League this year. Had a great run with Real Madrid and the team. Luka Modric, you can never look at him and say this man had a bad game. You can never look at him and say he's not demonstrating leadership on the field. The exit of James Rodriguez was the resurgence of Luka Modric. They gave him the Real Madrid number 10, and all of a sudden he looks just as he's supposed to be, the linchpin of the biggest club in Europe. I won't say that they are the most successful of all time, although 3 Champions Leagues in a row, and I think that they've got the most Champions Leagues win. But so I guess I should probably slap that label on them just for posterity. But at the same time, Luka Modric doesn't get a lot of the attention because you're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale and Karim Benzema all the time. And granted, that's one of the best attacks in the world. But Luka Modric is one of the best passers in the game. And we need to have a good, hard look at him for the biggest FIFA award at the end of this year, because we're talking about how Portugal didn't make it to the final of a World Cup. Argentina, I don't know how they even managed to stick together long enough the way that they were being managed, and also the fact that they continuously, A, leave their best players at home and on the bench, and B, seem to not even be able to play consistent formations, let alone consistent defense. And when you've got Marcus Rojo and Nicolas Otamendi running in circles, these are 2 really good defenders, and all of a sudden Argentina, who made it to a final with Messi, all of a sudden looks like they're not even sure how to play a football game with a man named Messi. You got a one-man team, and you got a team out of sorts. And you got the 2 best players in the world, we want to call them, and you can't save that. But meanwhile, the second smallest country to ever even make it to the final of a World Cup had one, Luka Modric, captain.
Well, and then you have Brazil with Neymar getting knocked out.
I thought you were going for something else.
What?
I thought you were going to troll me and be like, Neymar should be in that conversation. Oh, man. There is literally there's a website where you can just click on Neymar, rolling on the ground, and it's just him, it's a picture of him just, flipping, and it's just got grass, and, you can roll him back to Brazil.
That's hilarious.
You're literally, just clicking it as hard as you can, and it's, counting off the kilometers. It's pretty great. Welcome to the Age of the Internet. If we seem slightly distracted, we've left Fox on, and they are playing Atlanta versus Seattle, which is a very strange match because, if I remember correctly, Seattle are still at the bottom of MLS, and Atlanta are certainly Atlanta has the supporter shield in their hands, 40 points and biggest goal difference at this particular point in the season. Yeah, let me scroll down to the Western Conference.
Well, that's what Seattle gets for wearing a shirt that says Xbox on it.
Xbox has been their sponsor for a long time because they got the lime green color. Seattle have actually jumped out of last place. They're in 10th. They are 4 wins, 4 draws, 9 losses, a -7 goal difference, sitting on a grand total of 16 points. If you're looking at this as a bookie, Seattle has literally no chance. But I do know that Seattle has had a lot of different injuries throughout the course of the season. I know there's no Jordan Morris. I know they're lacking Clint Dempsey for the most part. I know they're lacking just a lot of their veteran players. And Seattle's just one of those teams that's been really great pretty much the entire time the MLS has existed. You gotta fall off the pedestal sometime.
Yeah. So, back to all this prep work. We got...
getting the podcast up and running has been an adventure. Go for it.
Yeah, so we had done this podcast for the last few months.
Probably
offline.
6 months, actually.
Yeah.
We've just been meeting together and recording ourselves jibber jabbering at each other. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
That's what you do to get better at this. You just kind of meet up and you kind of talk to each other and you figure out how you bounce on and off things like that.
The first podcast was created January 28th.
Told you, we've been doing this for 6-7 months.
So that was all. These are offline. There's 8 offline. There was 1 saved online on my own personal YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And that managed to get well over 1,000 views.
We had that was when we went live for the Pacers and Cavaliers.
Yep.
Yeah. We went live for Game 7 of the Pacers versus Cavaliers, the only 7-game series LeBron James had in his last run to the NBA Finals. And I tell you what, I feel really good about being a Pacers fan these days. Victor Oladipo looks like he's committed to just being the best basketball player ever, and looks like they're gonna try and build a team of nobodies. And they're gonna be like, let's shock the world. Let's pull this off. Detroit, 2004, 2005. Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, all those guys. Ben and Rasheed
Blake
Wallace.
Griffin. Lob City Part 2.
Actually, I wouldn't even fight it. Man, if we brought that kind of basketball to Indiana, boy.
I thought you were talking about Detroit.
Nah.
My bad.
No. I'm saying if the Pacers actually try to build a team though, they could make a run to the finals and not have a quote unquote legitimate star if people don't want to recognize the talent that Oladipo has and call nobody on the team a star. I would love to see that actually. I would absolutely love to see the Pacers come up, go back to being the team where you got to come here and you got to play basketball. You got to fear him. Get Rick Carlisle back in here so we can have the most wins in a regular season again.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I would absolutely 110% love it. I am all here for it.
How did we get to talking about the Pacers?
Because we were talking about prep work.
Oh, okay. So we've done the podcast offline. We did the live of the Pacers Cavs. And then we took a little hiatus to get our lives in order. And then after that, came back for real this time.
We set up
Endorphins Podcast 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Electric Boogaloo. Yeah. We could just call it that. But I decided I was going to set up social media for the accounts. We are the Endorphins. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitter.
It's on
we have a Facebook page. Our YouTube page is up and running so that we can publish. We hope that's where you are. I don't know. Actually, if you're not on our page and you're listening to this, send us an email. We got bigger problems.
Yeah. So we put
Someone's pretending to be us.
Yeah. So
not that they're going to want to, but
yeah. And so we are in the process of going through I shared all of the old podcasts, I think all the old podcasts with Tuesday on Google Drive. And so we'll hopefully go through and edit together some teaser or not a teaser, but collection video, a few minutes long of the old podcasts. And we can put together a couple of videos. Or we can just upload them all to our YouTube channel. Or, once we get the Patreon up and running, finally, we will have them up as private videos. I think we can do that. Mm-hmm. And then unlock them for our subscribers as our archives.
Right.
And say if you donate, or you are this much donating, you can get access to our archive podcasts.
Right.
Because we have 8 of them right now that we have not uploaded, and they're long, but I think they've got some good parts in them that are worth listening to because
it's about where we came from. It's
it
where
is
we started.
Where we came from, and it's also some good historical tidbits about this year in sports. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of different good things that we recorded as they were going on. It's us figuring ourselves out as co-hosts, and as people trying to put like an entire project together, like I said, like I just wasn't. Neither of us were like really like ready to like publish it the way that we wanted it to when we first started working on this project. And now that we are here where we are, we're like, yeah, we can call this day one, this, that, and the other. But me and Ethan have like had this brainchild for a really long time, and it means a lot to both of us that it's finally up and it's finally published and it's out there for the world to see, and it's beautiful and it's a lot of hard work. I was up till 2:00 in the morning editing pictures and getting them uploaded, and I woke up again at 8:00 in the morning so I could be here and make sure that everything was up and running for the game. And naturally, day one did not go perfect, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love the fact that today it didn't go perfect. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is exactly how everybody starts out. It's never perfect. It's never beautiful. I wanted it to be this way. Why would I want it to be any other way?
Yeah. So then we get to yesterday, which was...
Yeah, I want to dig into yesterday a little bit.
Yeah.
So we go out to your favorite high school.
My alma mater, per se, Lawrence North.
Yeah.
Which usually has, in the summer, always had open football field and track for, local people and people who went there to go on and walk the track or exercise. And just so happened they had a robotic meet that day. And we were getting there just as it was ending. So people were going out to their cars and stuff. And we had parked right on the outside of the field, near the back end of it, near the tennis courts. And so we get out and we see a guy inside the football field. So we're like, okay, so obviously there's a gate open somewhere. I didn't think to go through the courts. And
I didn't think the tennis courts would be connected to it either.
Yeah. Well, I had just plain forgotten that they were connected to the field, because the field had been changed in the past few years, and I had been there a couple times, but I had always gone through the main gate, so that's where I thought they was going. So we all walked, me, Tuesday, and D. I just met.
I know. Ethan just met D. D is a good friend of mine. I've met them at a few different other poetry readings that I've attended throughout Indianapolis, and they're in school for graphic design. And I was like, hey, do you want to come take some extra photos and maybe put them in your not profile? What is the word that they would
Portfolio.
use? Portfolio. Put them in your portfolio, and just have some extra fun and have some extra work and things that you want to do. They're gonna help us design a couple different logos and all those different kinds of things. So D came out with us, and so we're walking the complete opposite direction of where we need to go. And what's happening on the other side of this is there's a robotics meeting at Lawrence North right now. And not right now, but when we were there, and kids are coming out in droves, parents are coming out in droves, teachers are coming out in droves. This is some sort of robotics competition. I don't know much about it. My little sister did it, but I don't know a whole lot about it. But there's kids, there's people just everywhere, and we're here to just have fun and take some photos and do this whole thing. So we're walking to the wrong side of the fence, and the whole world just manages to stop itself, because they see three people who may or may not be straight. I heard a lot of different things. I heard that we were stupid for not wanting to just jump the fence. Sorry, jumping the fence anywhere with a bunch of people watching is a good idea to have the cops called on you. And for a lot of different reasons, I don't necessarily feel like I would want to call the cops have the cops called on me in that particular situation. So I'm like, yeah, jumping the fence sounds like a great idea, but let's not do this. So we're standing around, and like I said, we've walked the wrong direction, and people are just like, oh my God, is that a boy or a girl, or any of them boys or any of them girls? What are they here for? Why would they want to be on the football field? Why would they want to be on the football field and not be able to get on the football field? They must be stupid. They must be idiots, yada, yada, yada. And it's awful. It's awfully difficult to just look up and to know that just everybody is watching you for no other reason than they want you to be their sideshow. They want you to act and behave in a certain way so that they can be entertained by you. So roundabout, we find our way onto the field. By the way, shout out to Ezra. That was his name, yeah?
Might have been, I think.
I believe his name was Ezra.
Start with an E, yeah.
I believe his name was Ezra. I do not know for sure. If he ever hears this, thank you for actually just coming out of the stadium and being like, hey, nice to see you guys. I graduated from here too. It does look a lot different. And he just went about his life. He did not look at anybody any differently. He was just like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm glad that you went here one time too. So we wind up on the football field, and people are still watching, and Ethan goes to start making field goals. And these people start laughing because the first one that he takes, he misses. First off, Ethan is very smart and decides to stretch. Decides to get his body ready and together for this. Because I wouldn't have thought to stretch, and I would have thrown my whole leg out. Completely and utterly. Never would have done it that way. So give Ethan a lot of credit for being smart about it and stretching and doing all this in front of all these people too, because all of a sudden they're talking about us because we've got our cameras out, and me and D are really we're really crazy about this. We're laying on the ground and we're turning around and getting all the shots, and we're making sure things are lined up at certain angles. We're doing a lot of this minute adjustments, and they're like, and people are looking around talking about, this is ridiculous, and why would you even want to do stuff like that? And oh my gosh, isn't this such a dumb thing that people do for attention or anything like that? And I'm like, I can't have an actual interest in art. I'm sitting here I can't have an actual interest in being a bit of a perfectionist. I can't come out here and, not that I am a professional photographer or anything of the sort, but why wouldn't I approach it in a professional manner? This is something that I'm going to put my name on, and this is something that I'm going to publish to the world. I don't want everybody else thinking I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't want everybody else looking at me like, oh, you didn't put any effort into this at all, So Ethan actually starts making kicks. He asked me to hold the ball for him. I do not immediately. I actually look him in the eye and say no. And I feel bad about it immediately, because I'm like, all these people are watching, and all these people are expecting some sort of Charlie Brown incident, or they're expecting some sort of, they're expecting some sort of extra sideshow where somebody gets hurt or somebody has to be embarrassed. And I embarrassed myself, and I embarrassed my friend by saying that I didn't trust him in front of all those people. And I said, I don't care. And I looked myself in the eye. I was like, I don't care that all these people are watching. I'm going to hold the ball for Ethan, and we're going to get this shot. And the shot of me actually holding the ball for Ethan is gorgeous. Ethan made that kick, I think. I don't remember. No? Ethan, you made 4 out of 7, 4 out of 8, though.
Yeah, I made a few, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really the fun part. And then the thing about it was I held it, right? And then I go to pick up everything that I've got for the last time, and Ethan makes the last one. Yeah. And I just give him a little finger gun. I'm like, I know you guys are watching. Check it out. Look at my friends. Look at my friends doing awesome stuff, being cool in front of all these people. You know what I mean? So we go to the soccer field to try and get away from it. We can still hear them. We can still feel them watching them. We're just looking out there, and it's just people just standing they don't have anything better to do. Obviously they don't. The competition's over. They're waiting for people to come pick them up, and teachers are waiting for all these kids to come get picked up so teachers can go home. They have nothing better to do. So they've decided to turn us into a sideshow. And we get to the tennis courts, and which is closer to the people again. And all of a sudden, it's showdown time. Me and Ethan have to have a full-on one-on-one tennis match, or this isn't good enough for them. And I thought about it a little bit more at that moment, and I was like, you know what? I don't want this to be a sideshow. I'm not doing whatever these people want me to do just because it's what these people want me to do. And I'm not going to stand here and do it while these exact same people are having this argument, is that a boy or a girl? While these people are having the same argument, oh, that person's definitely gay. While they're having the same argument, this is completely and utterly 110% staged. That nobody in their right mind would ever walk out of the house in a Steve McNair jersey and purple hair. While wearing a jersey like a dress, because that's a huge jersey that I have. Absolutely, it's at least a single XL or a double XL, but that thing's monstrous. So I wear it like a dress, and I've got to listen to people while I'm just trying to have fun with my friends for a day, so that I can get my podcast off the ground. Me and my friends have to endure people treating us as if we are on their television screen, as if we are coming to them live from YouTube as if this is something that is solely for their entertainment. Like, we're real people, you know, like we're real human beings, and nobody wants to embarrass themselves in front of people, but why can't we give ourselves the space to embarrass ourselves in front of people? Why can't Ethan miss a field goal? Why can't I be blatant about the fact that I absolutely cannot juggle a football? I'm not that coordinated. That was not my sport. I don't understand why me and D can't lay on the ground to get a good photo shot. I don't know why me and D can't, you know, alter all these different things about our environment to make sure that the pictures that we take look absolutely stunning rather than just like a picture. Meanwhile, in Atlantis versus Seattle, they're trying to kill each other. I tell you what, I watch a lot of people get really, really upset about a lot of stupid things. These guys are arguing in each other's face about something that's happening in the middle of a game. What happened to me yesterday was not in the middle of a game. People did not pay to show up to see me and my friends take pictures and have fun and reminisce about what it was like to be in high school. We showed up on the weekend of our own free will to hang out as friends, and we turned into a sideshow. So that's what this podcast is about. Yes, we are all queer in one way, shape, or form. Yes, I definitely don't identify with the gender that I was given as a child or as a baby. I certainly think that something like this is 110% necessary because I love this podcast and I love that I get to meet up with my friends and talk about sports and have it broadcast around the world. But what I also want people to know is that we have a long way to go, because I have never actually felt like a fish in a gold pond, or I've never felt like a fish, and I've never felt like a goldfish in a little bowl like I did yesterday, like I did just trying to hang out with my friends and people just staring at me. And I'm not saying that this is new to me at all. I'm not saying I've never had people stare at me like that in my whole life. I've been out of the closet for a few years now. And even before then, people would always have whispers about me, and that's fine. But it's amplified now that I'm out, and now that I'm myself without actually like feeling the fear of being myself or fearing who I am as a human being. All of a sudden, now that I am who I am, and I just put it out there for the world to see, it's amplified and it's worse. And people feel like me being who I am as a person gives them the right to come after me or to make fun of me or anybody else who dare be seen in public with somebody who's trans. Like, there's a lot of different things that this podcast will dig into. Yes, we will definitely be talking about sports. We're going to be talking about the NFL. We're talking about baseball, basketball. Obviously, we got a lot of football on our heads. There's a lot of different things that we like to talk about on a regular basis, and there's a lot of different things that we like to watch on a regular basis. This will not be the first or last time that we have tried to go live on Facebook. This will not be the first or last time that we do. This is not going to be the first and last time we get together to record. Because that's what friends do. They like to get together and they like to do things, and we like to broadcast it to the world. Because we like to keep people informed, and we like to let people know that there's a lot of things to do in Indianapolis. There's a lot of cool people to meet in Indianapolis. There's a lot of things here in the middle of what people would call Nap Town. Why they call it Nap Town? Because you come here and there ain't nothing to do, so you take a nap. I haven't taken a nap. I can always point you somewhere to go, whether it be a national musician coming here for a concert like Janelle Monáe did, or something as simple as go to the White Rabbit Cabaret and go see a show. Go to the French Theater, go see a show. Go walk the canal. We have a zoo. We have the Children's Museum. I'm pretty sure the Children's Museum is one of the biggest children's specific museums in the world. You know, there's unique things here all around us. Monument Circle, the War Memorial. Go see the Central Library. The Central Library here in downtown is absolutely fantastic. 7 floors of books. 7 floors. Yeah, 7 floors ain't a lot. But comparatively, we can build buildings high enough to touch the dang on stars. But 7 floors full of books is mind-blowing to somebody who can't afford to own their own books. Let's be honest with ourselves. my life is more interesting to me than anything I've ever seen on TV. Why wouldn't I tell people my side of the story? Why wouldn't I come out with my friends and take pictures and gather up and watch games and have fun and tell our side of the story? I'm done ranting about it. I'm sorry. I'm done ranting about it. It was a very long, very difficult experience. I've had a really, really long 48 hours, y'all. From getting up yesterday to take all those pictures, to posting them on social media, to recording this podcast at the end of the World Cup for all of you guys. It's been a journey. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I'm always on a journey.
Well, I don't know how really to follow that.
That was the story of yesterday.
That was what happened yesterday.
That was the story of taking pictures to go on Instagram, to go on Twitter, to go on all of that. That's the story. That's what happened.
Oh, you know what? We got 6 subscribers on YouTube now.
Whoa!
Going on 7.
Whoa! Shout out to all 6 of y'all. Shout out to like everybody who's already followed us on Instagram, because there's like, I don't know, we don't have a ton, but like here, yeah, like 1. I don't even know. I don't even know how to tell y'all. I don't know how to tell who's following me. All I know is that people have definitely started following us on Instagram. We have subscribers to the YouTube channel. I have followers on Twitter. I've sent out dang near 30 tweets already. The YouTube's gonna get a lot of traffic. The Facebook page is gonna get a lot of traffic. Guys, this is wonderful. This is just the beginning of a wonderful journey. I don't plan on stopping on doing this anytime soon. Ethan doesn't plan on stopping on doing this anytime soon. Like, we're not gonna give up. There's nothing in this world. There's no amount of hatred in this world. There's no amount of ignorance in this world. There's no amount of just absolute utter foolishness that is out there in this world today that is gonna stop me from being who I am.
Yep.
I have a line. I was born long after my birthday. That's what it feels like to shed a closet. I haven't always been the person that I am today. And once I found out who that person was, I got a lot more hatred for it. It's not going to stop me from telling my story. In fact, it gives me more motivation to tell my story, because this happens to everybody like me. This happens to a lot of people in the queer community on a regular basis. We get pushed out of spaces, so we create them for ourselves. This is a queer space to come and talk about sports and to come talk about life. That's what's on the homosexual agenda today. It's not dismantling capitalism. It's not making sure everybody has to come out as straight to their families. The homosexual agenda is, can you see me as a human being today? It's as simple as that. So, yeah, that fits. Haters gonna hate. Yeah. But we do this. I do this for my queer family here in Indianapolis. I do this for Indianapolis. I do this for all the brown people in Indianapolis. I do this for everybody who ever feels like they've ever walked into a room and had everybody in there judge them. This is for us. So, I don't know if we've got anything else to add to this podcast today. It was going to be about the World Cup final, but it's more about how we even got to watch the World Cup final in the first place.
What?
Do you have anything to add?
Disappointed that it wasn't closer
It was a close game until it became 4-1.
Until it got out of hand.
It was close until it became 4-1. And after, or was it 4-2? I don't even remember.
4-2 was the final.
Let me show the timeline. Like, was it? Yeah, it was 4-1. Mbappe scored. Yep. It was Pogba and then Mbappe. And
for me, I just kind of just like grew up with that behind me a lot. People kind of making fun of me a lot in school, and for different reasons, because I was a bigger, fat and kid and nerd, and I ran the classes, and I was bullied, and so I just kind of tried to ignore a lot of it. And, I tried fighting back sometimes, and I got in trouble for it. And after that, I just tried to brush it off a lot. And, by senior year, I was just, like, playing it off a lot. And for me, going to the football field and kicking field goals was kind of like catharsis for me. And, like, it was a way for me to blow off steam.
Yeah.
And kind of
stick it to him.
Yeah, but also, like, it was the reason why I couldn't hear as well, was like I just zoned out a lot of my surroundings when I do that, because I'm kind of just like, I'm laser focused, trying to be, and so I don't really pay attention to anything else in that time. And so if there was people saying stuff, I just wouldn't have noticed. And then if they said it loud enough, I probably would have turned around and gone over there myself. And because that's the type of person I am. Like, if they actually, because I remember one time there was actually a couple people who came actually to the track to watch, and I got over there and said, like, hey, do y'all want to try out and kick with me? And they're like, one time 2 people actually took me up on the offer, but another time they just said no and left. And I was like, all right,
fine, screw you too.
But the other people were nice, so yeah. I was like, all right. So for me, I'm just like, when I'm in my element, I kind of get more like confident in that. So, like, had I known who was doing it, I would have wanted to go over there personally.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, when it's, what people didn't understand is that, like, I could hear everything that was going on around them. Like, the way that a stadium is built is meant to have all these different kind of echoes, and you're meant to be able to, like, hear stuff coming from deep within the bowels and all that stuff. Like, it just harkens back to Super Gladiator days. Like, it's been built this way for a really long time. So what people don't understand is when you have something huge going on and you have a stadium, you're supposed to build everything around it to be amplified from all the way around it. Like, you want to be able to hear the people in the nosebleed sections as much as you want to be able to hear the people that are right next to the action. And people did not understand that no matter where we went, like, this is a stadium environment, this is exactly what's going to happen. So there's a lot of different people, and it's coming from a lot of different directions. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm a perfect person, and I don't necessarily think about going over there and having conversations with them either. I know that personally I can't. They'll never listen to me in a million years. I will either... Here's the thing. I have been told that I sound too intelligent for a really long time. So when I actually start talking to people, one of 2 things is usually what happens. Either they just nope out and stop arguing about the point and just make it about insults because they realize they're not going to win in the wits of they're not going to win a battle of intelligence with me, or they get physically confrontational because they realize that they're not going to outwit me in an intellectual conversation. That's not me tooting my horn. That's me saying a lot of the people who I have to have this conversation with don't seem to be willing to sit down and learn about the types of perspectives that I have on all these different kinds of events. The type of perspective that you gain from having these kinds of things happen to you for your entire life. Like, I've lived my life completely differently from these people, but they don't want to hear about the actual problems. They just want to not see me at all.
Yep.
And I refuse to do that anymore. Refuse. It's the worst. Welcome to the endorphins, y'all.
Welcome to the endorphins.
Like I said, it gets just as real as it does get educational. We're here to talk about sports, but we're also here to talk about our experiences as people. And that's all I got for today, if I'm being honest.
It says 2.5 billion views.
I'm pretty sure that's not even the most.
I know, but still, I'm just...
Yeah, Despacito has 5 billion. Wiz Khalifa, See You Again, that's 3.6 billion. Before I leave. Okay, right. So that break was us going to play that line in that Taylor Swift song.
Because the hate is gonna hate.
And then our whole recording shuts off.
I unplugged the headphones thinking it was gonna play, but it just stopped recording.
It stopped all of the recording.
But thankfully, it recorded the whole podcast.
We recorded everything before that, so it's fine. We're not gonna have to do the whole thing.
I think we're good.
I want to thank everybody for listening to this entire story, for listening to the Endorphins origin story. Better than anything Netflix could ever come up with.
Ooh.
Take that back because The Punisher's pretty good. I haven't seen any of the other series.
Stranger Things?
No, I haven't seen Stranger Things. Actually. I'm just talking about Marvel series. I haven't seen Stranger Things.
Wow.
Man, I am working my way through so many TV shows right now. You know, you realize I had never seen The Office? I had never actually sat down and watched The Office. This stuff is hilarious to me. I just started season 6.
You need to watch Stranger Things.
I will probably wind up watching Stranger. Look at that. I'm working my way through The Office. I'm working my... Oh, man. I'm not going to go through this list. We're going to be sitting here for another 3 hours.
We need to go. But thank you very much for listening. I'm Ethan.
I am Tuesday.
And this has been The Endorphins.
The Endorphins.